Hello. So we're getting started. Make sure we have everything good to go. All right. So I'm still getting the hang of this. But as I always say, nonetheless, we prevail. All right. I think we got it. I think we got it. Yeah. Yes. I think we got it. Let me just double check. I get super excited when things work together. Yep, we're live. Awesome. Super thrilled to be here. Thank you for working with me through the tech issues. We will get it. It's okay. Not a problem. So, super thrilled that you're here with me today. Not going to take up too much of your time. Today, I want to talk about a 7-day framework that I really want to share with you. This 7-day framework is it's going to change the game for you. So I'm going to give you the nuts and bolts of it, but I'm going to do it quickly because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're busy. I know you've got things going on. So, the reason why I was sitting here this morning. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Deborah. Thank you so much for joining. I was sitting here this morning just really thinking about what I wanted to share with you today. And I thought about it. Why not share the things that I'm doing? So this 7-day framework, it's going to help you. It's going to help you. Okay. So just starting off, I just want to say this. There are so many coaches who are always busy working on their business, but not very many that I see who really graduate to ever, working successfully um, and building their business. Okay. And really getting in the clients that they want and need. So I'm going to give you this blueprint, if you will, that will help you really quickly build out and nurture your audience and bring in those clients that you need. And you should be able to do this within the next 2 to 3 months, even less than that. But I'm going to give you this starting from scratch, but it's going to be a 7-day framework that you can begin to implement and begin to see the results coming in. But you have to implement. You have to implement. That's going to be the key. You have to implement. Okay. So I want somebody that's, and I never do this. So this lets you know how incredibly important this is. But I want somebody to drop in the chat. Hey, Arlene, I want somebody to drop in the chat, implement. I never do that. I never do that because I am not one to just be listen. But that's how important this framework is. I want you to drop in the chat, implement. If you're watching the replay or you're watching live, I want you to drop implement into the chat. Because yes, Arlene, implement. Because these 7 days, yes, Deborah, this 7-day framework, implement this and you're going to see the things that you need to see, the results that you need to see. So the first thing that you're going to do, day one, is you're going to create an offer that is so irresistible that your dream client cannot refuse. Now, I'm going to tell you how to do that. But the first day one, now I hope you have your notebook, because if you write this down, you follow this framework, you're going to come back and you're going to say, Karina, you told me. Hey, Lanice, exactly, implement. But you cannot just be on this live, this replay, however you're watching this, you cannot just be on it and not implement. And you have to implement every piece. Because if you try to do it, if you say, you know what, I've done this, I've done that, I'm going to do it my way. If you do that, you probably will get the same results that you've been getting. Okay. I just want to be honest. So first day one, let's just say you choose a day. That's the first thing we're going to do. Let's back up a little bit. We're going to choose a day. Choose a day that you're going to do this. Choose a day that you're going to do this. And that will be your day one. So you're going to create an offer that is so irresistible that your dream client cannot resist it. I'm going to tell you where I got that part from. I love Godfather. I love Godfather. He said he was going to create an offer that whoever he gave it to could not resist it. So I'm a Godfather fan. So anyway, first thing, create an offer so irresistible that they cannot resist it. Within that, in that day one, you want to really define the really high level result that you're going to help your dream client achieve. What is that high level result? Write that down. Write that down. What is the high level result? What is the high level result? And sometimes this takes you writing and writing and writing and writing until you get to the very top of where you're like, I can't get any further. And when I look down, it's a very steep drop. That's where you need to be, that high level. The second thing is you're really going to identify and understand what your niche is. If you're vacillating, you're in confusion. And that's not gonna go over well with your dream client. They're gonna know it. They're gonna know that you're in confusion, and they're not gonna have trust and faith in you that you can bring them the solutions that they need, because you can't figure out how to stop. Okay. So we got to stop. We've got to stop and figure out what is that specific niche that we're helping, that we're being of help in. Okay. And then the next thing, how are you going to help them get this result? What's the specific method that you're going to use? Is it going to be one-to-one coaching? Is it going to be a group coaching program? Is it going to be a course? You know, what's the method that you're going to use? What's the method? The next thing is you want to go and do some market research. Bad word, I know. Listen. This is the one that gets everybody running in the opposite direction. People do not want to do market research. And I'm coming to understand that people think if you're doing market research, or this is what I get from the people that I talk to who don't want to do the market research. If I go and do market research, then that means I don't know what I'm doing. It looks like I'm incompetent. It looks like I'm a fake. It looks like I'm a fraud. It looks like. Not at all. Not at all. I can't remember who it was, but it is a well-known corporate corporation, world known, sent out some type of advertisement. They were doing market research. I don't remember if it was through an app or if it was an email that I got or a text message. I want to say it was a text message. They sent out and they said, we're doing market research, and it was legit. It was not fake. It was not spam. But it was straight market research. And I meant to keep it, but I get so many text messages. There's no way I can go through and find out who it was, but they were doing market research. And I sat there and looked at that text message for at least a good 5 minutes, because I said, if these people, I really wish I could remember who it was, but if these people can do market research and they are a well-established, years, money, like this is, it's like a man, I'm going to find out who it was and I'm going to post it. But if they can do market research, why are so many people running from it? It does not mean that you don't know what you're doing. It just means you're really trying to dial into your ideal client. You want to know your dream client in a way that is so intimate and detailed that is just like I said the other day, you're speaking their dialect. That's the only way you're going to be able to speak their dialect, is to talk to them. And so market research is not a bad word. I get so many people that want to run from it. They run. They don't want to do it. They find other ways. Well, let me try to figure out my ideal client is saying this. No, they're not. I can tell you that they're not. I can tell you that what you're thinking and guessing at and estimating and guesstimating is not what your ideal client is saying. And that therein lies the problem with not really aligning with and resonating with your ideal client. You're going to have to do what it takes to speak their dialect. Okay? So that's day one. That's just day one. That's day one. The second day, you really want to structure your program. You want to look at how long is your program going to be? Is it going to be 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 12 months? How long is it going to be? How are you going to provide that coaching? What's going to be the level of access? If you are, yes, absolutely, Michelle, run to the challenge, not away from it, because when you run to it, let me tell you, you find gold. You find gold. You find gold. 100%. You find gold. So when you're thinking about the level of access, sometimes we don't want to give too much, and then we say, well, we don't want to give not enough. It's going to be up to you to find that. I remember there was this lady I used to work with, probably, let's see, this was back when I was in Charlotte. So this was probably in the early 2000s. So we're talking a good 20 years ago. She used to always say, and it would annoy the daylights out of me. I was an underwriter. I was a processor and an underwriter. And she was an account executive. And, this was how she made her money. I had a 9 to 5, on the clock, but she made her money by how many loans she brought in and the amounts and different things like that. And she would always say, Karina, we have to find the sweet spot. And she was very nice. She was very cordial, but she did not let up when it came to Karina, we have to find the sweet spot. Now, 20 some years later, me being in my own business, didn't understand then, but understand now that when you find the sweet spot in your business, that is when you find that gold. And so knowing how much time to give, as an introvert, be very diligent and not leaning too far back and saying, well, I'm an introvert, I can't give this, too much, but then also making sure you're giving enough to your ideal client. So find that sweet spot. Okay, that's going to be key. So we're still in day 2. Okay, you're finding the level of access that you want to give. Okay, you're creating a structure. You're structuring out your program, the weeks, the months. And then also based on the market research, remember market research from day 1, based on that research and the value of the results that you want to get, then begin to define your price and anything else that goes along with your offer. Okay. So that's just day 1 and day 2. Okay. Day 3, we're going to start looking at how can we begin to bring these people into our ecosystem. Are you talking to the people? Are you posting? Are you going into communities, forums, blogs, doing live streams? My country just came out, didn't it? Live streams. How are you bringing them into your ecosystem? You're building out your audience, because guess what? You've been able to identify them from the market research. So you're knowing where they are, what they're doing, how you're getting to them. Then, so that's day 1, 2, and 3. Day 4 and 5, 4 and 5 are kind of a mesh together, because it's going to take you a little while, a couple of few hours. You're going to now, based on your market research, you're going to create some type of lead magnet, something that gets their attention, something that they say, I need that, and I would be willing to pay money for that. I need that. So you're gonna need to create that. You're gonna need to create a place for them to come and land on. When they land there, how are they gonna travel through that journey of you really loving on them, showing them that you know what you're talking about, using your authority, using your know-how? You're going to set all of this up. Most people call it a funnel. That's a buzzword that it just drives me bananas. But how are they going to land in your ecosystem? When they land, are you going to greet them at the airport with a sign that says, hey, come over here? Or are you just going to let them find their way willy-nilly? So you want to think about this when you're bringing them into your ecosystem. How are they going to land? What are they going to be greeted with? Are you going to give them step-by-step direction to the final step, to the final solution? Then, so that's day 4 and 5. Then day 6. So so let's just kind of recap. Day 1, you've got your offer. Day 2, you've structured your program. Day 3, now you are building out how you're going to find them. Day 4 and 5, you're creating a place for them. You're creating a place for them to come and hang out with you. Okay. Day 6 is when you really get into the nitty gritty. You're actually going out and getting them. You're grabbing their attention. This is where that everything that you've done begins to really pay off, because you've done every single thing. It lines up. And now here you go. There's traffic coming in. So now you are basically being traffic controller, and you're whispering them away. And then the final day is you want to begin to create that call to action, that final call to action. And you're creating those enrollment conversations. You're creating those enrollment conversations. Yes, day 6 is the nitty gritty. Yep, 100%. 100%. This is a 7-day framework. Day 7, it is not time to rest. Day 7, 8, I know I said 7 days, but don't let up. This is all gas. This is all gas. And I tell people, you have to test something a good 90 days before you say it doesn't work. If you do it for 2 weeks and you're inconsistent with it during those 2 weeks, it wasn't supposed to work. I'm not under those circumstances. Not under those circumstances. So drop your questions. Drop your questions in the chat. If you have any questions, I'll answer any questions really quickly. And if not, then listen. If you need more information, if you need more guidance, if you need hand holding, one-to-one, Karina, listen, I'm ready to do this. Message me. Let's get you on a breakthrough call. Let's see where you are, where you need to go, and how we can get you there. Yes, work diligently for at least 90 days. If you have stops and starts in those 90 days, I'm not going to say start over, but I'm going to say be very diligent in how you go once you had to stop within that 90 days. If there was a break in there, be very diligent after that break. Get back on. So it's doable. It's all doable. It is very doable, but we have to put in the work. We have to put in the work. I was talking to my daughter. I think it was last week. My daughter's 26. She'll be 27 this year. And when she was, thank you, Deborah. Thank you. When she was young, I didn't have a microwave. Not because I couldn't afford one. I didn't like microwaves. I grew up in the country. I grew up, we had a microwave when I grew up, but my parents cooked every day, every single day, 7 days a week when I was growing up. Up until I was out of the house, I left home, I think when I was 19, 18, 19. And they cooked all my life, every single day. They cooked and we sat down and ate dinner together every single day. And even though we had a microwave, they cooked meals. And so when I was raising my daughter, we didn't have a microwave for a good portion of her childhood. And then when I met my husband, we got a microwave, but we live in a 3-story condo. So there's the top level, which is the bedroom areas, the second floor, which is the kitchen, dining room, living room, another bathroom, then the basement area, fully built out basement. And so in the basement was the family room and another bathroom, my office, just a whole bunch of stuff. And so down in the laundry room, down in the basement is where I said, if you're going to get a microwave, then we're going to put it downstairs in the basement. You need to go down there. But the catch was there was a refrigerator down there also. This is a huge condo. There's a refrigerator down there also. Exactly, Deborah. And so being down there, the microwave being down there, that meant they had to walk up and down the steps to go use the microwave. But when I would heat up food, I put it in the oven or I heated it up on the stove. That's how I heated up my food. And so I was talking to my daughter the other day because she cooks very, very well. I mean, like very, very well. But she knows how to cook, how to prepare the food, season the food, take the time to cook the food. When we get out of the idea of I have to have a microwave solution, then we're able to really savor that fully cooked meal that we have. That's what your audience is going to get. If you go the 90 days, your audience is going to get that fully cooked, savory meal that you have taken the time to build out, to test, to create. And I'm not going to say perfect because it's never going to be perfected, but pretty close to it because it's going to be perfect for the perfect person. So if we get out of wanting to microwave it and we move into let me create an old school type meal for our audience, they sense that. They understand that. That's what they want. That's what they need. Hey, Zakia, thank you so much for joining. So, and so when it comes to, well, I have to do it now, I have to do it today. No, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. So I'm going to leave it there because listen, I can preach about this all day long and that's not what I came to do. So, listen, drop your comments, drop your questions. I will answer them. I like cooking, especially slow cooking. All the good food is not fast food. Exactly. Not fast cooked out. Exactly, Arlene. And that's how we have to think about it when it comes to what are we serving our audience. It can't be, there's some quick wins, some quick things that we can, put together. But if it's quickly done, listen, if it's something that we just threw together, there was no time put into it. There was no thought put into it. There was no love put into it. Your audience is going to know. They're going to know. They're going to know. So I'm going to end there because, like I said, I can preach about this all day and I'm not going to stay on here. But I'm super thrilled I was able to get on and not have any issues. I had so many issues last week and the week before. And it wasn't necessarily just like Facebook. Facebook was a part of it, but It's my computer, not my internet service. It goes, it's just crazy. I don't know why, and I don't remember it ever being like this before they made certain changes. So yeah, Arlene, listen, I why are we starting at the top, building a high level irresistible offer before we do the market research? So when you are looking, you're not gonna build it. So you really have to have an idea of what it is you want to do. Okay. So when you start at the top, you're looking and saying, this is the top level struggle that I know my ideal audience has. But in order for you to go and do the market research, you have to be able to articulate that. So you have to know who to talk to and who not to talk to. For instance, you're not going to go and talk to, let's see. So you're in introvert leadership. So you're not going to go and talk to an extrovert who only wants to be an hourly employee. So you're not going to start there. But in order for you to know who to start with, you've got to go to the top and figure out, what is it that I want to, what solution do I want to solve? When you go do the market research, you're going to do the market research to get the language that equates to that high level solution that you're providing, that equates to that high level struggle that they have. Okay, great, good. It makes sense. So you want to have an idea. So I've talked to clients, and they're like, well, I want to serve, and I'll give you an example. I talked to one 3 weeks ago, and she said, I want to talk to people who are divorced, but she gave me like 3 different types of things, and I'm like, well, okay, well, what is it that you want to solve? And she couldn't figure it out. So she couldn't go do the market research. So she had to figure out exactly what is the solution that she wants. Because again, if you're going back and forth, if you don't nail it, if you don't really dial into it, then you're going to be all over the place and you're not going to help anybody. Okay. So really great question, Deborah. Really great question. You start at that top, and then you go do the market research so you can get that language. That language is so key. It is so key. If you don't get that language, then you're just talking to folk. You're just talking to folk. That's it. So I'm going to jump off of here. If you have any more questions, drop them. You are very welcome. Drop them in the chat, and I will be sure to answer them. Again, if you are looking to really dial into this, drop me a message, and we can get you on a call so that we're able to help you out, get you where you need to be. All right. So that's all that I have for now. Thank y'all for tuning in. I love y'all. Bye.